Welcome to the Pathways to Profitability podcast, personal tales of business success. Are you feeling stuck improving your profitability? Learn from fractional business professionals how their services move your profitability needle. Here's your host, Cheryl Mucha, CEO of CFO Your Way.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today. Our guest today is Andy Randazzo of HitState. Andy, thank you so much for being here with us and spreading your knowledge and wealth of information.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
So I'd just like to start, give a little bit of who Andy is and what HitState is about.
Sure. So my company is HitState. HitState is a marketing agency. We're based out of New York. We've been in business for 25 years and serving our clients for that long. HitState is a marketing agency that solves the problems that small and medium business owners face with finding the right marketing to grow their business. And that's the important word, the right marketing to grow your business, because anybody can throw just about anything at the wall and see if it sticks and see if it works. But we specialize in strategy first and understanding a client's customers before we can do anything.
Right. And that there's the right? What are the clients looking for? What do the clients need and cater to that, right?
Yeah. More importantly, what do their customers want from them, right? So that's where we come in and really specialize the engagement. How do you engage your customers? Is it Twitter? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it a TV commercial, a radio spot, direct mail piece, trade show?
The good old fashioned way with put a stamp on a postcard, right?
Exactly. There's so many different ways to engage your audience. And the point is to find the right one that they'll engage with you.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you've been in business for a long time, well before like fractional was the thing, right? So you consider yourself a fractional.
Yep.
What kind of instituted that idea in your mind to be that part-time fractional resource?
So funny thing. So when we started the agency, we got pretty big pretty quick, right? We had about 12 people on staff, doing everything from like hand coding websites and producing and directing and copywriting. We had a videographer on staff. So in all that, there was a lot of overhead. We had an office space. We had multiple offices and cubicles, and it was a lot to deal with. And over time with technology, it makes things better for us, right? It makes things faster for companies. So in that fast-paced world, I feel like costs needed to start going down because technology was doing a lot of things for us. So we started laying off people and using outside resources because we didn't always need a videographer on staff, or we didn't always need a copywriter on staff all the time. But then we got to the point where we were hiring more people than we had on staff. And then we realized it was kind of better because we can tailor the experience for each client differently to the way and customize it for them. So let's say we had an entertainment client come in. We can tailor that experience with them with a copywriter that did entertainment copywriting. We would have a graphic designer that would do graphic design that was it had the look of entertainment. The same thing with videographers. So at first we thought we were kind of like saving money, but then it turned out it was actually better for the client to hire different resources and tailor it and make it custom for that particular client. Because there's copywriting for lawyers is very different than copywriting for entertainment and for the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it expands your talent pool, right?
Yeah, it was like pulling from a different places and pulling that all together, that talent pool, to make the experience really, really customized for that client.
Right.
If you can imagine, there's so many different clients that we have, and we're able to have the right copywriter, the right designer, the right programmer, and the right producer for that particular client. Yeah.
Yeah, and we use the word right in there a lot, right?
Yeah, because we could have a copywriter on staff, and we usually did, that would just write general copy, but they couldn't do entertainment speak.
Right.
They couldn't write for entertainment. And then, on the opposite side, that person couldn't write, copy for, um, I said lawyers, but like even like fintech or financials or even like cybersecurity. It was very different the way they speak. So we had to kind of go out and hire different copywriters and designers depending on the client that came in. So it'd be more of a fractional kind of business because of that.
Yeah, and you can't have them all on the payroll full time and only need them for certain engagements.
Yeah, and that was in the beginning, but then we realized it was actually better for the
Talent.
client to
Right.
have these people come in that were really specific to them.
Right.
We went out and looked for, like fashion photographers, right? Rather than product photographers. It's very different.
Right.
So
Different skill
instead
set.
of having a photographer on staff, we would have photographers that we would pull in for different things.
Yeah, I'm guessing too, it's a geographic thing too, because you can reach geographically, nationally to have that talent be where your clients are.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's sometimes what technology did. There was, I forget the name of the company, but there was a photography agency that had different talent in different cities. So if we had a client in Los Angeles and we're based out of New York, we would go to this agency and find the right photographer in that Los Angeles area for that gig, rather than us flying all the way out there, directing it. I mean, the overhead in that is ridiculous. It's probably, $7,000-8,000 just for
Right.
a weekend. That's not even including hiring the photographer.
Right. And that goes right to the customer, right to your client.
Absolutely, it goes right to the customer. Yeah. So with all this technology that's around that enables us to do things better, faster, we had to kind of keep up with it and kind of use it for our customers.
Right. So, not only is HitState a fractional marketing company, you're using fractionals within the organization.
Absolutely. Because it just really
Works.
We thought we were just saving money, but then we realized this copywriter is perfect for this,
Right.
this engagement, or this designer is absolutely perfect. Like, we wouldn't have had him or her, on staff for that particular job, because that particular job is very customized, So yeah, it turned out, first we were saving money, then we realized it was better for the customers.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the history of the name HitState, because I know there's a story in there.
Yeah. So HitState is actually a web term, and it's an older web term, but it's still viable today. So everybody uses HitState on a regular basis, like every day, probably every minute, and maybe every couple of seconds. So HitState is a place where an action happens. So the state of you going over that place where you can hit the button is called a hit state. Anything that has an action. So if you think about your phone, the whole screen is a hit state, because you press you press your screen and you slide. That's a hit state. That whole area is a hit state. You click on a button, that's a hit state. So we thought that was a good word to use, because in the very beginning of HitState, we were essentially a web design agency, and we did a lot of like web design. So HitState seemed appropriate, and it has some marketing connotations in there too, like hitting, the mark, hitting that state of doing something. It's a place where action takes place, which is pretty cool.
And action it is, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how the services you provide bring your clients to greater profitability. Like, I heard a little bit about finding the right way to market to the client's customers and whatnot. So how do you see that, like, long term, bringing your clients to greater profitability?
Yeah, so it's so important. A lot of times, the projects or the work that comes into us is the platform, or we call the vehicle, right? And what I mean by that is, we need a website, we need social media, we need email marketing, we need postcards, and we need a trade show. Those are the vehicles to get to your customer, or the platforms to get to your customer. But we can't figure out which platform that you really do need unless we understand the strategy, right? We have to know who we're talking to before we can say, okay, sure, let's pick this. Let's pick Facebook over LinkedIn, or why not a trade show over direct mail? So we have no idea what the platform should be until we understand the strategy. So we do it in 4 parts, or in 4 steps, right? So we have to know strategy. We have to know who your customers are. Well, before your customers, we have to know what your business is, what your product and or service is. And then from there, then we have to, more importantly, we have to understand who your customers are, right? Because they're the ones you're trying to reach out to. They're the ones that you're trying to engage. So once we know all that, who your customers are, their age, their region, where they're from, what they're doing, how do people typically engage that demographic? That's where the real magic happens, is really the strategy, is understanding who we need to talk to, where do we need to talk to, what we need to say. And then step 2 is really it's really the creative, what we call the creative. So it's the right messaging. What are you going to say that resonates with your audience? And also the visuals, like the creative look of it. What is it going to look like? Is it pink? Is it blue? Is it black? Is it white? We don't know, right? So that's from the strategy, we figure that out. We figure out what the messaging is. What does it look like, right? Then from there, that's where we pick the platform. Now we know who we're talking to, where they hang out, what we're going to say to them, what is it going to look like. Then we can start picking the platform. It's LinkedIn if it's B2B, if it's B2C, depending on who it is. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's social media, maybe it's a direct mail piece. I don't know. That all comes from strategy. And then the last step is really the analytics. Did it work? Did it not work? And why? And then we always go back to the beginning and say, maybe we're saying the wrong things in the right places, or maybe we're saying the right things in the wrong places. And we got to figure that out, doing A/B testing along the way. So we always do strategy all the way 1, 2, 3, analytics, go back to strategy, figure it out, run it again until we get it right. And it's just really sharpening up that arrow point to hit that market, that target every single time.
Yeah. The analytics are the important part, because they're the that's where the meat and potatoes is, right? That's where you're going to find out what's working and what's not.
Yeah, that's the magic. But I think that's the magic behind the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes is all the stuff in between. But then it's like, all right, did it work? Did it taste good? Did it not taste good? And then you go back to the beginning. Maybe
or is it still sitting on the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Is there a myth or something that people think about marketing, social media, etc., that you hear all the time as you start to engage with clients?
A myth?
Yeah, a myth or something that I hear all the time, like, oh, I can just hire a $15 bookkeeper and they'll do a good job.
Yeah. I mean,
Is there something that you hear from your clients that say, I did this over and over and over again and it should work and it's not?
Yeah. We hear that all the time because, it seems to be a very do-it-yourself kind of thing. And again, it goes back to technology. So much great technology out there to use. But should you be using it, right? Depending on who it is, right? So you can do all the marketing yourself. You really can. But can you? And do you want to? Do you have the time to? So,
and what do those analytics look like, right?
Yeah, what do the analytics look like? Do you have the creativity to do it? Do you have the time to manage it? Do you want to just be the owner of the cupcake shop and just make cupcakes and we'll bring business in for you? Because once you start doing your marketing, you can't stop. You have to keep going if you want customers. And you may not be very good at it, and you may not have the time for it. Then your business is going to suffer because now you're a marketing person and you're doing all the marketing. So, and I understand some of the smaller businesses, but if you look at it like any other, business or any other kind of model of where you hire a plumber to come in, it costs $400 to have the plumber fix your pipe, or you can do it yourself and probably spend more than $400 getting all the right tools and stuff. And then probably along the way, breaking something, making it worse.
Or look at all the sales that didn't happen while you're under the sink trying to figure out how to fix the plumbing.
So it really goes down to really hiring a professional whenever you can, because that's time off of your plate that you can use running your business and we'll bring people into your business. It's our job to bring people into your business. You just keep running your business, because yes, there's a lot of like money loss
Right.
from, not running your business, and now you're doing marketing, and
Right.
you shouldn't be doing marketing. You should be making cupcakes.
Yeah, it's the same with every fractional model. Like, we're the experts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same with every business, like, plumber, an electrician, like cooking your own food at home. Are you really good at it? Or do you just want to get like, one of those mail services where they send you food, you just put it in a pan and fry it up? Do you know all the right ingredients to put together, So it's really like that, I mean, when you go out and you spend, $40-50 on a meal and wine and drinks and stuff, you may spend more than that getting the right ingredients all at home to create that exact same meal. And here you are like wasting all this time, hours prepping it and setting it up, when you could just walk in the door with a reservation and sit down and have a great meal for $40. So
I love that. Yeah, and I mean, I think and talk about this all the time. Like, cheaper isn't always better. Doing it yourself isn't always better, because the results
yeah.
are light years apart.
Yeah, the results that you get will outweigh what you're saying, what you think you're saving, because people really aren't saving money. They're actually losing money when they do their own marketing. Not only are they losing clients to their competitors, but they're losing money because they're just not doing it right. They're doing it wrong. They have to redo it. Then they're taking money. They're taking time away from the
Right.
business,
People
which
don't
is
put a
money.
value on their time. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, and I get it. It's like, hey, can I work with Andy and pay him X amount of dollars? It's like they think that X amount of dollars is, it's like going out the door. It's coming back,
Right.
tenfold sometimes,
Exactly.
because you're hiring a professional to do it. So yeah, it's a shame, and I see clients all the time do that. Oh, I don't know if I could work with you. Some of the micro-sized businesses, it's too expensive. They go do it out on their own. And then they come back and say, all right, I can't do it on my own. I don't have the time. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to get started. I don't know what I'm saying. I just don't know. And it's like, that's why I do what I do. And that's why you do what you do. Stay making
in your
cupcakes.
lane.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll help you bring in customers. Yeah.
I love it. So is there like a tidbit or a piece of advice you can give our audience, just real quick, to kind of say when is the right time to call Andy?
So the right time is I think it's, when you get started in your own business, or if you're an existing business, again, it's that teetering, like, I'm kind of doing it on my own, but I don't think I'm doing a good job. Yeah, I want to grow a little bit. I want to grow faster, but I can't grow faster because, again, I'm doing the marketing myself. So whenever they teeter on that, like, all right, I don't have the time. I know it's important. I know marketing is important because that's my salesperson. That's my voice. That's my soapbox. That's how I get the word out about me. But I don't have time to do it. I don't know how to do it, and I just don't want to do it. It's like doing your own accounting, right? Or doing your own
Exactly.
bookkeeping. It's like, I don't want to do it. I just want to run my own business, and that's what you're for, right? So, yeah, it's like when you're on that in that precipice of like, should I continue with my marketing and keep doing it and keep like probably failing at it?
And stressing about
I
it.
just hire somebody to do it. I think that's the important thing. And yeah, you really just have to hire a professional because it just comes in tenfold as opposed to you doing it yourself.
Yeah. So how do people get in touch with you? And I'm sure you offer like that initial conversation, to see if you're a right fit, because of course,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, you
brand
never
new.
know. Yeah, you never know.
You
Yeah,
have to be
so
the right fit, right?
yeah, of course. Yeah, so people can get in touch with me, hitstate.com, take a look at our website, look at some of the work that we've done, look at some of the testimonials that we have on LinkedIn and things like that. But hitstate.com, go there. Our email address is there, and you could fill out a form, and yeah, we can meet up. And yeah, we offer a free hour consultation right off the bat, just to see if we're a right fit and just to see what's going on and see. I don't know, maybe it could be a sales problem that you have. Maybe your marketing is doing well, but maybe it's a sales problem that you're having. So, it's always good to understand what's going on. And even in that call, we can uncover things, and, we'll gladly give people some advice right there and then, and say, all right, maybe you should be doing this, or maybe your website's not
Right.
pulling its weight, and maybe you need to do more of this, that, and the other thing. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
And
we're
again,
happy to
everyone
talk.
is unique, right? So you can't just have a blanket statement because everyone's
Absolutely.
method needs to be
Yeah,
customized.
every business is completely and totally unique, and there's a million marketing people out there, but I'm
Right.
totally unique to what it is that I do, who I
Right.
do it for, and how I do it. And every business out there is incredibly unique. You may be an accountant living in New Jersey, but maybe it could be, a different area of New Jersey, or maybe you focus with just lawyers, or maybe you just work with certain groups of people. So every business is unique and different. And that's why we have to do the strategy, because that's where we figure out who do we need to be talking to, where do we need to be talking to, what do we need to say, what does it look like, all those things. Yeah.
Great. So Andy, time has flown by. Thank you so much for being a guest here. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. Reach out to Andy. He's a great resource. Happy to have the conversation. Check out the website, Pathways to Profitability, for this and all our other episodes, and have a wonderful day.
That's it for today's episode of Pathways to Profitability. Remember to ask yourself, where can I pay my success forward today?